Well, for some reason you're showing up.
Good. I can't figure out how to hit go live here. It's a bunch of stuff that I know, but I all right. Well, my problem is I can't see comments.
Oh.
I can't get past the startup screen. Do I have anybody there yet?
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
20 people.
Good. Hey guys, what's up? We're obviously working through a few things here as we attempt to go live for our first time. Sorry about the delay, but as I've joked about many times, my technical abilities are not the best. Hey, it's my cat. There you go. We are absolutely live, as you can tell that. And the other thing you can probably tell is I'm doing it from my house, as opposed to the studio. And I want to get so I can set up here where I can see you guys live. So I'm going to do this. All right, I'm going to have my tech person come in as we are away from the camera and take a look and get me where I can see you guys' comments, because I want to be able to answer comments in real time. In the meantime, how are you? You guys having a good night? We are 1-1 on the deep three so far. We hit Xavier to cover, and missed on North Dakota State. The Bison. You know what? If I never see another Bison game again with that guy calling it, he makes me crazy. We call him the Bison guy. He called a bunch of their football games, and he calls them the Bison. It absolutely makes me crazy, and especially makes me crazy when we miss by 1 point. So that sucked. They had a couple shots there to put them away late. Of course, they gave him the announcer jinx on the free throws. These guys shoot. And they're number 5 in the nation free throw shooting. This kid shoots 90%, swish, and then the one we really need, clang. There you go. And so it stays at 4 points, and 4 points is where it ended. So 1-1 so far, and we've got 90% swish, and then the one we really need, clang. There you go. And so it stays at 4 points. There we go. And 4 points is where it ended. So 1-1 so far, and we've got F. Yeah, I was going to say F2 is the thing there. So we're. All right, there we go. So we're gonna move this back into place. Put my laptop. I miss my office. I miss my setup with my gigantic screen and everything. So all right, there we go. Look at that. I can see actual comments and everything. What's up, guys? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna take a look at all the games for tomorrow. And then we'll do this again tomorrow with the Friday picks as well. I didn't want to go through 32 games here. I thought that might kind of wear us thin a little bit. So I will go through and give you my thoughts on all the games, and I'll be clicking back and forth. So you guys, meow, indeed, Alan. Yeah, everybody. Oh, there you go. There's a veteran of live broadcasts. Yeah, hit the chat. Give me thumbs up if you would. And that's we're always. I feel like we're always begging for approval. Give us those thumbs up. But that's how it works. That's the matrix that everybody knows. Lets us know how we're doing. That's kind of what my bosses look at. That's what YouTube looks at for our videos. So as far as where they get placed and everything. So yeah, the more interaction and the more thumbs up, the better it works out for. Well, to be honest, it works out well for me. So, but also works out well for you because it keeps me on the air and doing this goofy stuff like this. So this will be the deep three for today. I need to close some of my windows here. All right, so let's take a look. I'm going to go in chronological order, and if you guys have thoughts, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I've got my official assistant, aka my wife here. So she's going to help me out with comments if you guys have any questions about any of the games as we go through. So first, what I'm looking at is our first game. It'll kick off the whole deal as Minnesota takes on Louisville, and Louisville I've got them at -5, and I'm going to use one particular book. I'm not going to plug the book and tell you what I'm using, but I've got a fairly common internet in a book up that I'm going to use. These might be shaded a little bit differently from some of the lines that you guys use. So obviously, as always, feel free. In fact, you absolutely should check out as many different lines as possible and get the best prize. All right, so let's start with Louisville, Minnesota. Louisville's a 5-point underdog, or excuse me, a 5-point favorite. And this was a kind of a difficult one for me. This is two teams that have definitely shown the ability to play well. They've beaten some teams. Louisville most shockingly beat North Carolina by 20 plus on North Carolina's home court at the Dean Dome. And then Minnesota, while they didn't have a lot of signature wins early in the season, they finished winning 5 of 6 and took care of business against Purdue. Beat Purdue twice in 10 days. And I'm going to go with the team that's been a little bit hotter lately. Louisville kind of faded down the stretch. I like the points here. And in fact, in my pool, I've actually got the Gophers winning this game outright and moving on to the round of 32. So we're going to go with the Minnesota Golden Gophers plus 5 points right there. The next game on our slate is Yale plus 7.5. LSU laying the wood on that one. And I'm going to tell you guys something interesting here. As I was doing these and kind of getting ready for the show, I went and checked these numbers for the lines against my power rankings, and there's a huge disparity on some of these numbers. And so I ended up using I went to Danny Sagrin and used his power ratings just to kind of double check what I was doing. And there's a lot of disparity in a lot of these numbers, and I'll tell you, it all goes well for the most part. I'll point out the ones that don't. But they mostly go in favor of, I don't know how to say this. The underdogs are the favorites are underpriced. How about that? They are undervalued. In other words, on this Yale LSU game, I've got and usually, and I'll tell you this: if you guys don't use power rankings, you absolutely should, because it's a good way to check lines. And usually, if you use a good source of power rankings, you use KenPom. If you use Sagrin, there's a couple of other ones out there that are really good. Those numbers will be frighteningly close. And if you got the time and the energy, I just tell you how much to geek out. But I would keep my own power rankings. I've been doing it for a while, and it's really handy when it comes to capping these games. But anyway, according to and I'm going to use kind of an amalgam between me and Sagrin, because we came out pretty close. LSU should be around somewhere in the neighborhood of a 1.5 point higher favorite as far as this one goes. So you see a lot of that. And if you guys listen to me on a Tom Barton show this afternoon doing the Long Island News Radio thing, we talked a little bit about how much people are jumping on the underdogs as far as their brackets and as far as taking them with the points. And a lot of times you're going to be able to catch value on the favorite. It's kind of the opposite of the rest of the time, as the favorites are usually the ones that are going to be overpriced. But I've got LSU in this spot. I know they're having their coach problems. I know there's all kinds of drama with the coach and the recordings and all that. But Smart is back. They're going to let him play, and I've got to think that the better team from the better conference gets it done here. By the way, I have to tell you this story. One of the premium picks today, I've gone 0-2, by the way, on the premium side. We took Brown under 144, and it ended up, I capped it at 141.5, and it went up all day long. It was a ton of sharp money, a ton of money all over the over. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why. I made some calls. I looked around, tried to read something, and they had their top scorer. Brown was decided to transfer. He wasn't going to play this game. Everybody was on this over, but me. I was stubborn, and it cost us. It ended up being at 161, I believe. So, yeah, they kind of put it to us on that one. And then we had Longwood and Southern Miss, and it was Longwood. If you've never heard of Longwood, they finished ninth in the. Oh, good God, I don't even know. I can't even remember what awful conference it was. Let me see if I've got it here. If I've still got this written down. Because I know you're dying to know. Because it was such a beat. It was such a beat, dude. Oh, it was the Big South. They finished ninth in the Big South. Okay, that's the one with Radford and Campbell and Gardner Webb ended up as an upset winner, winning the tournament. Okay, so they're the ninth place team in the Big South. They have a losing record. They're 15 and 17 on the year. They're getting 9. Actually, it ended up being 10 from Southern Miss. And Southern Miss, of course, finished second in the Conference USA, tied for second. Just obviously a much higher quality team and much better conference. And all they did, Longwood put a 22-point beat down on the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. They went 18 to 34 from 3. And I even talked about in my preview that the Golden Eagles were going to have to figure out a way to stop them from shooting, because they shoot the 3 over 50% of the time. They gun, and they killed us. Like I said, 18 for 34, 54 points off of 3-pointers. Just a brutal beatdown. Beat the number by 31 points. So we go 0-2, and then we've got the St. John's Arizona State under 153, which is if last time I looked, I think it's going to be in the mid 60s at halftime. So we're kind of clicking along there. I don't want to jinx anything that we've done, and then we've still got the Sam Houston State TCU cooking in the deep 3, and I think that's at halftime as well. Sam Houston State's down 4, 6. I know I had it up here. So anyway, okay. So those are random thoughts. Holy shit! Yeah, we're gonna get going here, guys. All right, let me see. Anybody? I'm gonna check comments here real quick. Okay. Exactly, Alan. The missed free throw by the 90% shooter. I swear to God, it was the announcer Jinx. Carl said, "What's up, handsome?" Carl's evidently on the wrong channel. So, what's up, brother? We're rocking my sweater here tonight, and Chip says I lose a lot. I do. You're right. I lose about somewhere in the neighborhood of 43, 44% of the time. So yeah, that's and then when I'm running not that well, I lose more. So it happens, and it happens to all of us. So that's the way it goes, dude. That's we work hard, and sometimes we hit them, and sometimes we don't. I don't know. Where were you yesterday, Chip? When I went 3-0, we were talking about how I was losing then. But yeah, it's fun, and as always, I never miss an opportunity to tell you guys do your own research. Don't take what anybody says, not me, not anybody else, to the bank. Always do your own research first. Just use this as a jumping off spot, okay? All right, so we're going to go with LSU there. Then we move on to Auburn versus New Mexico State. New Mexico State, we were on them a lot late in the season. A good team in a very bad conference there in the WAC. I like Auburn right here. I think this is Auburn's one of the most undervalued teams around. I think they're going to. I've got them going far in a lot of my brackets. I'm not afraid of them laying the 5.5. In fact, looking at the power rankings, that number looks to be almost 3 points low, about 2 3/4 points low. So, yeah, I'm digging on Auburn there quite a bit. Moving on. In fact, I would make doing the deep 3. I would make Auburn pick number 1 in my deep 3. Yeah, I like that very much. And moving on, looking at the Florida State Vermont game. I've got Florida State giving away 9 to the Catamounts. That's a tough one for me. I think that the quality probably goes ahead and takes care of business. Vermont can get hot, as we saw in the finals. They can get the job done. They can score from deep, and they can bang the ball inside if they need to. But I think this is a decent matchup for Florida State. I don't know how much I believe in the Seminoles to go all the way. At least a couple rounds, but I'll take them. I'll take them there as the Catamounts clock strikes midnight for them. And moving on to Michigan State. Michigan State throwing 19. That's a ton, but I still think there is value there. I'm not buying in on. I'm not a buyer on Bradley. I want to. I'm going to fade them right here. I'm taking the Spartans to cover 19 points. And okay, this is another interesting game as Belmont takes on Maryland. Probably going to be one of the games that I'm looking forward to the most over there. It looks according to the power rankings, it looks like it should be about a 4-point spread for the Terps. But the Terps really miss an opportunity to disappoint and piss me off, and I'm going to give them another shot tomorrow. I like I like this Belmont team quite a bit. I think this is a good spot for them. I think Maryland has certainly shown the occasional ability to step up and play well, but I don't think they get it done here. I'll take the Belmont and grab those 3 points. Alrighty. Now this is an interesting game as far as the numbers go. It's KU and Northeastern. KU is a 6-point favorite, and this is the biggest disparity on the board that I was able to find. KU is a somewhere around, depending on which power ranking you use, somewhere in the mid to high teens. I had him at 18. We've got Northeastern at 82, but that is a hell of a difference. In fact, there is actually a 16.5-point difference between these two teams if you use the power rankings and just lay in 6. That I'm not going to say this is a perfect system as far as comparing these lines to power rankings, but I think there's a huge amount of disparity here. If you guys are fans, if you know me, if you watch me, you know how much I absolutely despise the Jayhawks, but I've got to play them right here. I think I think KU gets it done. All right, moving on to Marquette and Murray State. I'm going to say this a lot. That's another interesting game. I think Murray State, they've got some senior leadership. They've got some guys that can score. I like Murray State there. I'll take the points, and hopefully they can keep a lid on the stud scorer for Marquette. And you guys, my apologies. My brain kind of turns to mush about now if I don't remember everybody's name. I know that Marquette has an all-world Studley guy that has put up 40 a number of times this year. So I think it's going to come down to Murray State's ability to clamp down on him, and they have shown the ability to do that, to play good defense when they've had to. Here's I almost said it. Here's another interesting game. I like that there's a lot of decent spreads. There's some huge numbers obviously as there's going to be between the high and low seeds, but a lot of these mid games are going to be really competitive. And this is another one as Florida takes on Nevada. Florida, they play in the SEC, and that to me, they're a hard team to figure. They're one of these teams, and I think this is kind of where we still eked out a little bit of profit this year. But I think it's a reason we didn't have a better season. They had a lot of teams that played very inconsistent. About the time you'd think you'd get a handle on somebody, they would show up and. I was going to say they lose to Vandy, but they didn't. Nobody lost to Vandy this year in the SEC. But they'd lose to Mizzou. Mizzou would come in there and take care of business against Florida, a team that obviously is superior to the Tigers. And then they would step up and they'd play a good game. So Nevada, people forget how good this team is. They were actually a preseason top 5, top 7 pick, and. All right, so I got some notes here. All right, I'm taking all chalk.
Talking all the chalk. You're talking.
Talking all the chalk.
Yeah, it's a compliment.
Okay. Talking all the chalk. All right. All right, and the Q's wins by 9 without Howard. Says Eric T. I like that. And said my.
North Dakota State.
Oh, the North Dakota State pick, lost. Thanks for the pick. Oh, you're certainly welcome. I'm glad I could help out. Not like I didn't play it the same way. So, yeah, dude, that's. And by the way, if anybody like in the comment section or I have people email me occasionally and say this bet or that bet lost. That's a. There was an LOL there. So this is as I'm getting the notes here. So. My apologies if there was a no harm, no foul. I'm when I lose, I get a little salty. So, all right, I'm almost out of bad habits. This is about one of the only ones I got left. All right, so I've got my wife whispered, no, it isn't. I might have one or two more. he says. All right, so where are we at? Where are we at here? Oh, looking at Belmont, Maryland. Yeah, I'm taking Belmont. Oh, Murray State. There we go. Yep, I'm taking Murray State. Going on to. Yeah, we talked about the Nevada game. Yeah, I'm gonna take Nevada there. I hadn't decided until right now. Nevada -2. I like them. I think they step up. They're realizing that they're playing for a lot, and I think that's a good spot for them against the Florida Gators. Yeah, Kentucky and Abilene Christian. Now we're getting into some of the monster spreads, the 215s. I'm just not. I don't. The first round is one of those times I don't mind laying some wood. I think that's a little bit strong. Abilene Christian has they've shown a pulse. They've been able to to keep up and with some decent teams. Yep, I'm gonna take the dog there. I'm gonna take Abilene Christian and get the 22 points. And here's another dog that I like as well. I'm going to take in the next game Villanova -4.5. I like St. Mary's catching that 4 and a hook. I do. I think I think they're peaking at the right time. They won the tournament. They beat Gonzaga. Villanova, they've shown spurts, and maybe it's that time of year. Maybe they pull it together. I did think about that as they have been known to step up on occasion, but I think that. Yeah, I think St. Mary's gets it done right there in that spot. Hey, speaking of the Zags, they're taking on Fairleigh Dickinson as FD gave me the fucking D last night against Prairie View A&M in the last 5 minutes. And Gonzaga, they've covered a lot of big numbers, and if you look at their games, all their games have been at least double-digit spreads. They've done a decent job of covering. But they some of those huge numbers they've struggled with, and I think that Fairleigh Dickinson is probably going to be better than the average conference team that Gonzaga has those 20-25 point spreads against. I like Fairleigh Dickinson right here catching 27.5. I'll take that big number. A lot of things can happen, especially in the tournament when you want to get guys some extra rest, and if you're 20 points. With 7 or 8 minutes left, I could definitely see the Zags resting, especially Keely Teely, and giving those guys some rest, especially that they've had some injury problems. They've been banged up. Michigan, Montana. Montana is the conference champ and the tournament champ. They're in the Big Sky. They're a good Big Sky team. I think this Michigan team is on a mission. I watched them play Sunday, and they had that look in their eye. I like the Wolverines all kinds of right here to cover that 14.5, and I was just going to check they're about a 1.5 point fade. Interestingly enough, and I forgot about this, Abilene Christian is one of those teams that's actually undervalued by 2.75 points. Fairleigh Dickinson also undervalued according to the power rankings by about 3 points. So and then Michigan is undervalued by about 1.5. So those are. Again, I'm not just setting it and forgetting it, but I do definitely take a look at those, and it does factor into my decision. And here's another team I like, and I wouldn't even call them, since they're a 7 seed. Obviously they're not anybody's underdog at this point. They're I think 37th in power ranking this year. I like Wofford. In fact, I'm going to make that another one of my deep three. I'm going to make Wofford 2.5. We've got Bird betting against the Hall before. The Pirates have smoked us a couple times, but I think Wofford is the better team, and I think they get it done right here. Purdue and ODU. Purdue 12 and a hook is the favorite, and I think that ODU plays They play a tough non-con schedule, and Purdue has definitely shown the ability to let down. They let Minnesota beat them twice in 10 days, as we talked about earlier in the show. I think ODU keeps it close. I think Purdue probably pulls away late, but I don't think they get to the 12.5. I like ODU. I like the Monarchs right there in that spot. Syracuse and Baylor. Syracuse laying 1.5. Yeah, and I know we had a note on that earlier. I like the Qs right here. I've seen this Baylor team play a couple times in person this year. They haven't really impressed me. They've played a couple good games on the season, but they've shown an ability to let down at the weirdest times. I think we've got a good team that's used to banging around there in the ACC against some of the three best teams in the country. I still think the three top teams in the country are probably in the ACC with Virginia, North Carolina, and Duke. They certainly have three of the top four seeds. Um, I'm not sold on the Zags yet, guys. I'm just not. I just don't know how they're going to do with stepping up a level in competition. I don't think they're going to get beat in any of their early rounds, but I think that I think one of the Michigans. In fact, I've got Michigan State going all the way, taking care of business against a team that I think is criminally underseeded, who is the Cincinnati Bearcats at a 7, and we'll talk about them tomorrow. But I've got in my main bracket that I filled out, because I don't. Oddly enough, I don't do a lot of brackets because I just don't have time, because I'm just capping all the games and taking a look. But I like I like Cincinnati, and I've got them in my final. So I think but I think Michigan State or Michigan is going to be one of the. Yeah, and by the way, that's when I said Michigan on that, I turned that around. Michigan State was the one that pulled away there on Sunday. They're the ones that look like they're on a mission, as because we were on Michigan, and Michigan State actually did it to them, and I thought the injuries to Michigan State to their guards were going to hurt them, and it ended up only hurting them for about 35 minutes, and Michigan just kind of pulled the plug on that. In spite of that, I still think Michigan is going to go a long way in the tournament. I still like them over Montana. Yeah, that's I just kind of misspoke about the Sunday results. Sorry about that. So I like Q's -1.5, and I think that's it. I think that's the last one on the board. Let me double check. Okay, yeah, there you go. So we went with a deep 3 of. I'm just making sure I got this right. Can you tell I worked a lot on production and not a lot on making sure what I knew what the deep 3 is. And what did we take for the other deep 3? Remember? What did I like here? I can tell you. Sorry, guys. Belmont. I like Belmont. I'm going to make that another one of the deep 3s. And I'm going to make a note of that. Belmont is the deep 3. And come on, guys, my brain's frazzled. Somebody tell me what the second one was. All right. Oh man, I got a lot. Okay, I got a lot of notes. Right, dude. A question about Alabama losing. I have no idea. The points on that one scared me, but I certainly didn't think that Alabama was going to shit the bed like that. I completely agree. Michigan loses tomorrow night. By the way, Clint says Michigan sucks. They're not a 2 seed. I don't know, man. That's a tough one because they certainly have the ability. They're certainly ranked where they should be a 2 seed, but they have shown more of an ability to go to sleep and get beat by ridiculous teams that they shouldn't. Montana sucks also, but he said Michigan's going home. He posted before I picked. Yeah, so you think Montana? I'm curious on that, Clint. That's a bold call right there, my friend. Clint says that Michigan loses outright to the Grizzlies from Montana. And just for shits and grins here, Clint, let's see. I'm just curious. I want to see what the money line on that is. How about 925, brother? You can get yourself 9-1 on that money for the Grizzlies. So that if you guys know Clint, if you believe in Clint, that might be worth a little sprinkle there. If you're not a believer in the Wolverines, Wolverines. I am a believer in the Wolverines, at least against the Grizzlies. But I think they get it done. Romeo says the feeling is Wofford will disappoint. He said it's just a feeling. His spidey sense is tingling. It's certainly possible. It's certainly possible with those mid-majors. A lot of times you watch those teams, and I talked about this a little bit on the premium side, and it's also true. You watch these conference tournaments, and you see these teams look really good in the conference tournaments, and you fall in love with them, and then you're forgetting that they're coming out of an inferior conference a lot of times, a mid-major or even below that. So, yeah, anytime you're taking a team like Wofford, they certainly have the ability to disappoint, although they played some tough games this year. They've been a good team all year long, and they're ranked top 40 power rankings pretty much anywhere you look. So, yeah, but again, Seton Hall, those teams like from those divisions, they're always going to be battle tested in those conferences like that, and they have the ability to play big games at any time. So it's a crapshoot. As somebody so helpfully pointed out earlier, you sure lose a lot, and yeah, those games like that are why, because at the end of the day, we're betting our hard-earned money on 18 to 21-year-old kids not to disappoint us. And I don't know how many of you have ever had kids of that range, but they disappoint you frequently. So I can't believe, I would never have laid 3-1 of one of my kids being home on time at midnight. That seems like a sucker bet right there. I would always fade. I would always take the over as far as coming home, and then I would take the over on the amount of time that they were going to be grounded from their phone as well. So I had a little two-teamer with the kids. Oh, here we go. Hey, it's somebody with something. Stu says since he first started watching, he's up 14 units at $50 a unit. He likes Wofford, and he's fading Michigan. All right, fair enough. So he's half with me, and he's half against me. I can live with that, and glad to see you're making a little coin there, Stu. Nice to have you aboard. Romeo says the Zags take it all. Says they get it done. And Clint says the Qs go to the Final Four. Clint, I don't know. Is it possible? Are you a Syracuse grad by any chance? Or you just got a feeling about them? I do like him. I do like him against Baylor. I'm not a Baylor Bears fan at all. I think the Qs is there. So, all right. So, and all right. Well, you know what? If I can't remember the damn. Don't do drugs, kids. Seriously, it seems like a great idea when you're in your 30s, but it's not. So then you can't remember what you took for the Deep 3. So right now we've got Auburn, we've got Belmont, and it's like it's a brand new day. I'm going to pick a new one. All right. You know what? I'm going right into the teeth of you guys. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a contrarian son of a bitch. I'm going to take Michigan. I'm going to lay the 14.5. That's going to be my third pick for the Deep 3. All right? Screw you guys. Seriously. All the hate for Michigan out there, man. That's okay. All right. So that is our official Deep 3, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Auburn Tigers minus 5.5. It is the Belmont, what is Belmont? The Belmont Bumblebees, where the fuck they are. God damn, I can't remember all these names. We're gonna take Belmont, and we're gonna catch 3 from Maryland, from the Terps. How could you forget the Terps? And lastly, we're taking Michigan minus 12 and the hook. So there we go, everybody. That is my official Deep 3. Get yourself down on those games once I finally figured out what they were, and you could join me. We'll do it live as we'll head back to the window. There you go, everybody. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. I want to thank everybody that commented. We will only get better at the live stuff here as we do our streaming thing. And this is fun. I like talking to you guys in real time, and it's very cool. Keep them coming. You guys are the best. Keep your comments coming. As always, share in the comment section about what you're on. Not just if you're tailing or fading me, but tell me what you're doing. It's that time, boys and girls. It is time to kick this in the ass as the big dance gets rolling, and I, for one, am psyched. All right. So you guys have a great night. Thanks for stopping by and joining us. and we'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm going to try to do this tomorrow, kind of between the break time, somewhere in the 6-7 o'clock Eastern time. Hopefully, try to catch it there between the two sessions. I know there's games going on, but it kind of slows down there late afternoon. So we're going to try to put it together and do our second 16 games tomorrow afternoon. All right. So thanks again for stopping by. You guys take care and peace. Let's get some wins. All right. Take care.